So I think is that this is if the Dwolla's situation. Lit. Hello y'all and welcome back to my channel. So today we have a review that like I say in a bunch of my reviews, I didn't know if I was gonna do this. But obviously I'm doing it since we are here and you've clicked on this video and I filmed it, edited it, and uploaded it. But the Anastasia Beverly Hills Jackie Aina palette was released. That was sort of kind of like, do I want it? You know, the whole Anastasia collector in me. I've been reviewing these palettes for quite a while on my channel now. And I just kind of like, was it 110% sold on it? Then a couple of y'all were like, hey girl, you gonna get that palette? You gonna review that shiz? And I was like, yes, I am gonna review that shiz. Here we have the palette here. Let me just say, this is probably the best packaging that Anastasia has done in a pretty long while. I feel like for a while they just kind of like, I don't want to say streamlined because that makes it sound too nice. They did that velvet thing to death. But this is like this like faux croc skin hollow whateverness going. It's pink, it's blue, it's green. This is everything I could want in packaging. Like standard Anastasia palettes, this is going to be, that's just a brush I never use. $45. You're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14 shades, limited edition, and looking like this. I was a little bit torn because, as y'all know, your girl is a matte shadow lover. It's taken me a long time, but I've since converted to the beauty of the matte eyeshadow, and this skews definitely more favorably towards shimmers than mattes, but the colors are rich and gorgeous and beautiful. This is a palette that does not have an obnoxious, stupid, and redundant, ochre, eggshell, taupe setting shade, which y'all know I have a personal vendetta against. This is definitely a palette that is going to work on a myriad of skin tones, which I think is one of the things that makes this palette so unique and honestly so desirable, even though apparently it's not doing as well at the box office as they thought it would. But I think the color story is absolutely phenomenal. I have Supreme all up and all in here. Then I took Pinker in the crease. We went very simple today. Then Big Wig on the lower lash line. Soleil all up in there. But hey, enough about that. Let's roll up this ridiculously hot sweater and get to some swatching. Gonna start off with Zam and Soleil. I'll say right now, I love Soleil so much because it is very much Anastasia's traditional shimmer formula. High shine, all kinds of cha-cha-cha-cha. You don't need a setting spray. You don't need a tacky primer or glitter glue or nothing. And Wiggles, that shade right there, I have absolutely no idea. Then Supreme, which I admit, out of Anastasia's mattes, it does not feel the smoothest, but it is nice and pigmented, and I had absolutely no problem with it oxidizing, and I didn't have a problem with it blending it. Then Shookington right here. So pretty. And Pinker, which feels even rougher than Supreme. A little bit fallouty, so keep that in mind. But ooh, I mean, that is what purple shimmer shadow dreams are made of. Next up is Trust Issues, and then Big Wig, which back to the Anastasia matte formula, feeling very smooth and creamy. And then here, this Trust Issues shade makes a pop-in inner corner highlight, and then you can also use it as like a transformative shade over top you know, another one to give it like a little extra opalescent. Gotta wipe off my fingers because swatch contamination is a thing. Next up, we going on up into edges here, and then Dwollas, which I must admit is probably one of the most disappointing shades in the palette, at least to me. Not because it's not pretty or it doesn't have a nice payoff, but compared to some of the other shimmers in the palette, it's a little bit more tricky and finicky to work with. And Sponsored right here. Oh, it feels so good. And Credit, running out of space. I'll do those two up here. Oh my goodness. I mean, that brown. I'm not a huge neutral whatever, but I'll live for a pigmented, smooth, opaque brown. Last up is Ginger and Lituation. It's situation, but lit. Lituation. Lit. I'm just gonna stop right there. Here we go. There's the Ginger. And there's the Lituation. We got all the swatches right here. Please don't get glitter everywhere. Going on. Pretty. Let's talk about the palette. Alright, in all honesty, aside from the matte to shimmer ratio, which is very much a personal preference sort of thing, and my grievances with the Dwolla shade, I don't have much negative to say about this palette. I think the color scheme is beautiful and rich and decadent. It's very cohesive while also being very colorful. What I like about it, colorful? Maybe I was saying wearable. I'm not sure what my brain went to for that. But I think it gives you a really nice variety of shades for you to do something a bit more soft and romantic. You can do a little bit neutral, or you can just kind of zhuzh it up with a lot of the nice intense colors. It does have some very beautiful and unique shimmers like Sponsored and Lituation. Situation. I mean, Lituation sounds like something to do with like lechery. Maybe I'm just saying it wrong. I don't know. Zam and Soleil are beautiful shimmers. I love Shookington, Wigglies, trust issues. The only issue I have is, like I was saying with the Dwolla shade, is that it's really pretty, and when you finally like get it to work, it's really nice looking. It's kind of like a green based bronzy gold. But my problem is you can't just like, or at least with the brushes I tried to use. I always try to say it could just be me, but the brush that I tried to use you like picked it up and it picked up the glitter, and you kind of go it around a little bit more and it picked up the glitter, so you weren't getting that like nice metallic high shine off of a brush. I had to go in with my finger and kind of like, you get it on and then you have to do like a swatching motion, not like a pat to get the pigmentation. And y'all know I much prefer shadows that respond well to being used with the tools that are intended. But when you do use your finger and all that jazz, it does look very beautiful. And I feel like one tricky shimmer out of the whole shebang bang, that ain't too bad. I'm honestly surprised this palette isn't selling like really well, because I think compared to a lot of other palettes that Anastasia has released, like the Norvina, what else did they release? I'm not sure. Like a couple of the palettes they've been releasing, this one seems to be a much more exciting, and although it's like seeming to be kind of all over the place, it is cohesive in the sense that these are all just really beautiful standout shades. And if you look at it, like you've got like, okay, look at this cute little quad area, and then you take this and you're like, look at this cute little area, and then you've got these two like more neutral champagne-y gold shimmers. Maybe that's just me, maybe I'm just crazy, but I see this and it just makes me excited. I love the fact that this is a very good topper. There was a I think it was Cube in the Subculture palette that had like that effervescent fairy fart top coater vibe, but it didn't really do a lot. It was very chunky and not fun to work with. This is like the way that shade should have been, and it works with all of the mattes really well to just give them kind of like that bright pearlescent sheen. I've even put the mattes on my all lid up in here and then taken this and putting it over it, and it looked pretty. But all in all, I think this is a really nice palette. I mean, the packaging, kind of this like bright, fun whateverness going on, I feel evokes very well of the palette inside. I only had issues with one color. The mattes were smooth, creamy, blendable, typical Anastasia formula, as well as 90% of the shimmers were that smooth, creamy, you don't need a set and whatever, don't need a tacky primer. They are good to go on their own. I think this is a really, really nice palette, and I've honestly used it quite a few times. Like, I've been like playing with this thing and really enjoying a lot of the looks and the fun finishes that I'm able to get with this. But I feel like this is going to be a palette that I'm going to reach for a lot as a conjunction palette. Like, I feel like this is just going to work really well with things like Modern Renaissance and Soft Glam. Anastasia palettes play pretty well with each other. Do I watch Jackie Aina ever? Is she an influence there that I check for? No. Do I think this palette is really great? Yeah, go out and get it. Apparently it ain't selling out. Obviously, let me know what you think about the palette below. If you think the color story is good, or if you think Anastasia is guilty of rehashing a lot of their colors, because it's like Nervina, Alyssa, Soft Glam, Modern. You can see shades of other palettes, but I mean, there's only so many ways you can do a brown, a brownie orange, and a purple and a pink, you know? I mean, that's what you got. But definitely let me know what you think down below. If you have this palette, what your thoughts are on it, if you're gonna get it, if you're gonna leave it at the store. I love to hear it down below. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and as always, keep it real. Mwah!